button now, and you'll have seen a little icon coming up. So we're recording the first half of this session, really the part where Laura, Lauren, and Daniel are going to really share their thoughts around opportunities with their companies, and from an employer perspective, graduate, alumni perspective, just from their own personal perspective, what is the advice they have for you as sort of the class of 2020, and the things that you can do that will really help you kind of move forward. So that'll be the first half, and that'll take probably half an hour or so. Then in the second half, we're going to move into breakout rooms, and really it's very informal, and really what will happen, we'll probably split you into two groups most likely. So we have 7 students here at the minute, so we'll probably split you into 2 groups, and then put 2 of our speakers in with one group and one with the other, and rotate that. And really that's an opportunity for more informal chat. You'd ask some questions, and yeah, just have more informal conversation about your own situation and what Laura, Lauren, and Daniel really think about that, and from their own experience, whether that's about pathways into accounting or finance or wealth or whatever that might be, qualifications, skills, application processes. There's lots of things to talk about. So that's how it's going to work. We're not going to record that second half, and I should say as well, with the recording, you can use the chat box. That won't be displayed in the recording or anything like that. It'll just really be our speakers and what they're saying, and that'll allow us to kind of share the session with others who have been unable to attend. So yeah, the chat box is there. You have started using it by telling me or telling us what you study. For a couple of our other joiners, if you wouldn't mind just adding your degree title, just so our speakers know what you're studying and where you're coming from. So yeah, no, Hannah, program's not just for graduates. It's a good question. I suppose what I should say is that, and I suppose this is for everybody, the UnLock U program in its kind of totality was developed to support the class of 2020 and graduates, but we've really opened out the different elements of it to all students. So for example, this session, yes, the narrative is mainly about students that are coming out, but whether you're first year or second year, you're going to learn a lot from the next hour or so. So the program itself in its totality is for grads, but really the different elements of it and the things you can engage with, whether it's the skills programs and these networking sessions, that's for everybody. So assuming you're not a graduate, and welcome along. Okay, so we're going to get a start. So as I said, we are grateful to Laura, Lauren, and Daniel for sharing their sort of time with us this morning and providing that insight, and we're going to just move into that now. Laura, we're going to start with you. I'm going to share your presentation. Just bear with a little second. And there we go. Over to you, Laura.
Brilliant. Thanks, Brian. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for having me with you today. And again, just to follow up with what Brian said, congratulations on your graduation. It's a really exciting time for all of you. So just a quick introduction to myself. My name's Laura. I work on the student recruitment team within EY in Belfast. So I am the student recruitment associate, and basically it just means I work really closely with students every day, and I work with them to kind of speak to them about their next moves, and it's my job to advise them on both our opportunities at EY and to guide them through our selection and assessment process. So a little background to myself. I came from a creative arts background. I studied photography at University of Ulster, graduated in 2014. When I graduated, I worked within hospitality and then moved into events and recruitment. So the job I have now is a little bit of a mix of both. And I've been with EY from last February, working with students across school leaver programs and with guys like yourselves who are either in university or have just graduated. So I do have a few slides for you if I just move on to the next one. Few things I just want to cover in this quick introduction is I'm going to just give you a brief overview as to who EY are. I'm aware that some of you may not have heard of us, so I'll just give you an insight into who EY are, some of our opportunities that we have available. So we have plenty of opportunities for students, whether they have graduated or whether they are still studying. I will go over quickly about our application process and how you would apply for any of those opportunities. And I will tell you a little bit about what we look for in our students. We are slightly different in that we don't ask for certain degree classifications. We don't ask for CVs or cover letters. We basically assess our students on their strengths. So we'll have a look at those and kind of have a think about how you can relate them to yourselves. I know it's a pretty challenging time at the minute, but I definitely think, I can reassure you that companies are always going to need new joiners, and they are also, always going to need graduates coming in on their training contracts, so that there is plenty of opportunities still out there for everybody. So just to kind of tell you a little bit about EY, for those of you who maybe don't know who we are. So we are one of the big four. We are a professional services firm, which basically means we help organizations make better decisions about business, finance, and technology. So you might know some of our competitors as PwC, KPMG, and Deloitte. So there may be some of you on the call thinking, okay, it's a professional services firm, they're one of the big four accounting organizations. If you are a student who's not solely studying accountancy or finance, don't panic. We take in students from any degree classification, and all of our opportunities will be very relevant to any students. So, don't be put off that we're an accountancy firm. So we have over, I think, 270,000 people now in more than 150 countries across the world, and we have, I think, 22 offices across the UK. So we really are at the heart of the business community within the country. We work across 4 service lines within our 2 Belfast offices. Obviously, we are all working at home at the minute across those 4 service lines. So the 4 service lines that we would deal with would be transactions, which just basically means we help companies to manage their capital and merge with or acquire new companies or sell their company. We work within assurance, which is really audit. So our team of auditors would go out to companies and just make sure that data and information provided by those companies is correct. Consulting, which is advisory. So we have a team of advisors that help businesses of all shapes and sizes solve complex problems, manage the risk, that kind of thing. And tax, which is slightly more law driven. And that's a tax team that helps companies to figure out rules and regulations and to work with them to find out the best way for the company to react and plan for them. So within those service lines, there are different strengths and different skills that we would be looking for from our students that would apply. So if we have a look at some of the opportunities, so maybe some of you have graduated and some are still within your degree. So the options that we would offer for students, we obviously do things for school leavers, so the likes of a business academy where year 13 students can come in and spend 2 days with us, and that would be kind of gearing them up to apply for a business apprenticeship, which is an alternative to university. We also have Discovery Y. I'm not sure if any of you have heard of that before, seen that across, the job boards or anything at the university. It's a 2.5-day insight program where students from first year or second year, if you're on a 4-year course, can come into the company and hear from our service lines, do some skills sessions, and really just kind of gauge a feel of the company and see if it would be a company that they'd perhaps want to pursue a career in. We offer summer internships for students in second year, and that would be a 4 or 6 week paid internship depending on the service line that you go in. And from day one, those summer interns are really thrown into client work. They're an integral part of the team, and it's just to get a little taster of what it would be like working within that service line in EY. And we offer 12-month placements. So if anybody is looking for a placement year, we offer them in our audit and our transaction service lines. And again, that's a paid placement. Our graduate training programs would be slightly more down your traditional accountancy route. So we offer 3.5-year graduate programs. So you would join us once you graduate, and that would be, you'd be working from day one, but we'd also be putting you through your professional qualifications. So at the end of those 3.5 years, providing you pass all your exams, you would come out with a chartered accountancy qualification. And then we have more sort of entry-level roles for those students that wouldn't want to pursue a professional qualification. And those roles they sit within sort of project management and data analytics, that kind of thing. So that's just a brief overview of some of the opportunities that we offer. The next slide just kind of gives a brief look at our application process. So we do recruit from a variety of backgrounds. We don't factor in, as I said, grades or degree disciplines unless it's for a very specific role like technology consultant, where you might need a more technical based background. We don't ask for a CV or a cover letter. It's a really straightforward application process, all done on our website. So you register for the program that you're interested in, fill in an application form. Learning for a Changing World is really just online tests that you would do, aptitude tests, numerical tests that are pretty straightforward. Then we would invite you to an assessment centre, which are usually in our office, but we're having to run them virtually now. And then the final stage of our application process is a final interview, which is done virtually at the minute as well. So if I just go back, sorry, to this one, as I touched on earlier, we really recruit based on strengths. And just to reiterate what that means, so these are strengths that you probably have within yourself, but you maybe don't know how to demonstrate them, or you might think that you don't have them. But strengths that we would look for would be a strong communicator. So that is someone who can, go beyond a strong verbal and written communication style. It's the ability to adapt your communication style based on your audience and to distill complex information into simple terms. We look for team players, so obviously a team that works well together delivers great work. So we look for people who can naturally build their own networks and find common ground with others. Adaptability just means that we look for students who have the ability to adapt to new situations and to use their creativity to find innovative solutions. And I'm sure you all have that skill with everything that's been going on over the last few months. Students who are analytical would often be open-minded and hungry for knowledge. Number savvy. Now, this doesn't mean that we do look for students from a finance background or from, maths or accountancy. It just means that we at EY see numbers as a language. So we need students who can kind of look at and understand and interpret numerical information and to be able to deliver that back to their teams and their clients. And in the know, I think, is a strength that all companies will look for within their graduates or their applicants. And that's really just looking for someone who is commercially aware of everything that's happening around them and what's happening within that company. So that's just a quick introduction to myself and EY. So I'll pass back to Brian and I'll be able to answer any of your questions when we go into those breakout rooms.
That's great. Thanks very much, Laura. I think in the breakout rooms, there'll be a real opportunity for students to, to understand even more about the breadth of opportunities that you guys offer. So those that are specific to accounting and those that are less specific but still relevant to the sort of the skills our accounting, business, economics graduates who are attending this have, and plus I suppose the recruitment process and the difference in that recruitment process, and also how students can prepare for that. And obviously we can help everybody compete for those opportunities. So that's super. Okay, let me just get myself organized. So Lauren from Fintry, do you want to take over and
yeah.
Tell everybody about Fintry and the opportunities and what you want to share?
Yes, that's great. Thanks, Brian. Good morning, everyone, and again, thank you for having me. So you may not have heard of Fintry. I'm going to take you through a little bit of information about the company shortly. But just to introduce myself, I'm one of the HR associates, and I'm based in our Belfast office. So primarily my role is to support all of our employees on that Belfast site from an HR business partner perspective. So day to day, supporting managers, working with people, and really just ultimately ensuring we're getting the best support so our employees can perform well, are happy at work, and really the output then for to make sure that we have everyone productive for our clients. So I also have some responsibilities that link in with our finance academy, and I'm really excited to talk to you about that today. Today is actually very timely because we do have current opportunities ongoing at the minute, and that actually closes up on Friday. So I'll also take you through as well how you can apply for that if you're interested. And for those of you, I know not everybody is a grad on this call, you're maybe in your first or your second year as well. We don't have any opportunities alive at the minute for placements. And we also do an insight week. We will talk through when those will open if that's something that you're interested in as well. Excuse me. So just a little bit about my background then. So I am a UU grad. I graduated in 2017, so it was around about this time 3 years ago. I gained some experience. I done a placement year myself in an HR consultancy firm. And then after I graduated, I worked in an international law firm in Belfast called Herbert Smith Freehill. So I was part of their HR team. And I suppose after finding my feet in the HR world, I realised the part that I enjoyed most was the employment law side of HR. So I then came back to Ulster and I studied for my postgrad employment law. And it was actually this time last year that I graduated from that. So I've now found myself at Fintry. The position that I took was for career progression. It's been absolutely great, and now I've been there over a year. So just to tell you a little bit about Fintry for those of you who probably haven't heard of it, we are a local company. We're based in Belfast, our headquarters, and it's been started up by our CEO Dara in 2013. And whilst we are a global company, a local company, we very much have global clients. So what Ventry does then is we help find solutions for our clients to meet their regulations. And that's in various different areas such as legal, risk, compliance, and consultancy and operations as well. So all of our clients that we work with are tier one investment banks, and they are based all over the world. So New York, Tokyo, Frankfurt, and Paris as well. So there's a lot of great opportunity there for anyone who maybe likes the idea of working for a global kind of platform, but not having to move away for that opportunity. So to give you a bit of context then, so we are rapidly growing. We have made a commitment by the end of the year to have over 600 staff. And I suppose what that means for us is every year since we have started, the company's actually doubled in size. So the success has been absolutely brilliant. It's a very employee-led organisation. Our CEO Dara makes a great effort to ensure that everyone's voices are heard, and he actually, there's no one in the organisation that he doesn't know. So it still feels like a very small, a family-run organisation, but it does have the success of all of our employees so far. So what I really want to talk to you about today is our Financial Services Academy. Now this will apply to any graduates that are on the call today. So we have, I think, ran through 14 academies now in Belfast and 5 in the Northwest. So we have 2 offices in Belfast, 2 in the Northwest, and our Belfast office has been open the longest. So hence why we've 14 academies up there. Most of our employees do come from a graduate background and come through our graduate program. So to apply for that, then it's a 2-2 that we accept, and again, it's in any degree. And the reason we do that is because we learn, that skills come from all different backgrounds. And to ensure that everybody's on an even playing field, then we ensure that everyone goes through a 4 weeks training program in financial markets, and to learn a bit more about what life is like in financial services. And the reason we do that is because everyone comes from different backgrounds. We want everyone to have the same opportunity to get up to speed. for that. So as I said, we do have an application open at the minute. If anyone is interested on that, the academy would actually begin on the 3rd of August. So we're running quite tight now to the deadline, so the applications do close on Friday. The process that you will go through is an interview, obviously a video in these current times. So that will take place on the 20th or the 21st of July, and then it'll be a tight turnaround. So training commences on the 3rd of August and ending up on the 28th. After that, then you, if all goes well, you'll be offered a place to start with Fintry then as an Analyst 1. And just a little bit about that program. So you, as well, you know, we are a financial services company, but it wouldn't be, you know, we don't, and it's weird to say, but it's not very, you know, we don't work with numbers every day. It's very much regulations and working with clients and their policies and advising them really. So it would be a 2-year program. You come in as an Analyst 1, and after a year then you'll be promoted to Analyst 2. So after that, you'll then go on to associate, and then that's whenever you're out of the grad program and you're into, I suppose, the rest of the business. So as I said, we've opportunities open for that. If anyone's interested, I will pop the link into the chat. For anyone as well, we have the very first time, actually just launched on Monday, a law program as well. It's another 2-year academy. So if anyone comes from more that kind of background, it's definitely a great opportunity to get involved. I know a lot of people, when they leave uni, they may need to go to London and everything to get that experience, but what we're seeing more and more of is that we can actually do that in Belfast, because everything's now remote, and especially with the current times, and we're able to, you know, for grads to gain that experience at home, which is absolutely great. So just quickly, my advice for you, because it's obviously quite a strange time, and hopefully you will get your graduation ceremony when things return to some sort of normality, but you know, just keep engaging in these virtual events and finding out what's going on about there, because there are industries that are thriving and there are many opportunities available. For us during this pandemic, we have recruited, I think, around 80 people, and in a company of, you know, just 500 people, that's quite a lot for the gap of 3 months, and to recruit all those guys remotely. So there are, you know, opportunities out there, and be reassured of that. So I'm happy to answer any further questions during the breakout rooms, but for now I'll pass back to Brian.
That's great, Lauren. Thanks very much. I mean, growth of the company is unbelievable, really. And you know, I think one of the things I would say to our students is that, you know, as part of the UnLock U program, obviously a lot of recruitment processes, well, all of them are kind of fully online, and that can create a little bit of anxiety, but you know, that's what the program's about, is about helping you guys kind of overcome that and prepare for that. So with those who are mentoring you, you know, if you're going to apply for this program and you're going to be invited to conduct some online tests, video interview, then, you know, please do use the services that we provide. So yeah, I think in the breakout rooms there's definitely there's an opportunity to dig a little bit deeper on what you guys, you know, what makes the difference, you know, in those graduates who tend to do well in those processes. I think that's definitely something that will be useful for the attendees to hear more about. So that's brilliant. Thanks very much, Lauren. So okay, so Daniel, I'm just going to share your presentation here. I think, yes, there we go. So, yeah, Daniel, I'll let you introduce yourself. So
yeah, thanks.
Over to you.
Thanks, Brent. Yeah, good morning, everybody. I'm Daniel Glover. I'm the Managing Director at Pearson. And I suppose for those that don't know Pearson, we help small local businesses make really good financial decisions in their business and personally. And I suppose we're quite a different business from, you know, EY and Fintry, and I think it's great for everybody to see how, you know, there's obviously a lot of different candidates out there with different skills, but there's also a lot of different businesses that there's opportunities in. So I'm going to try and explain a little bit of the difference. One thing we find is a lot of students struggle to understand the different types of businesses, the different types of roles that there are in accountancy or financial planning. So I want to give a wee bit of background about that and about our business, and a wee bit of advice. There's quite a lot of information in here, so I'm sure, Brian, you might be happy to share this around. You can share these slides around with everybody afterwards if they want to see it or anything like that.
Sure.
But I suppose my own career path, I'm also a graduate. Everybody's graduated from Ulster University today, so I graduated in 2008. I went and worked in a mid-sized accountancy firm in their financial planning business locally. I did my professional exams, and after 3 years I became an advisor, and after 5 years being there I became a director, and that was 2013, and then in 2016 I decided to leave and start Pearson. So that was been a very quick development for me, and the business now with Pearson has grown quite quickly. So how do I move this on?
There you go, you got it.
Well, this is a little bit of information about Pearson. So 2016, we were founded with 7 people. We really are a boutique financial planning and accountancy business. We have really close relationship with the clients. We try to create an atmosphere in the business, when clients come in, it doesn't feel intimidating or a corporate feel at all. It's really to give clients the opportunity to have more time and money and peace of mind is part of the service. So in 2016 we started with 7 people, and we were managing 23 million of assets. In 2019 we acquired another local financial planning business, and we've now got 15 people with 95 million of assets, and around 500 clients. So it's been a quick growth in that sense for us, and we were really, really pleased to win the Employer of the Year in East Belfast Business Awards last year. So this has gone really well for us, and a lot of that growth has been driven through bringing in Ulster University graduates, and they make a really big difference in supporting the growth of the business. We've a number of people in at the minute who have grown up to be advisors and are on the path to become a director with us, so it's really important for us. Yeah. So yeah. This is just a little bit about accountancy. I want to talk about what the differences are in accountancy. It's something that comes up in interview with us a lot. Students are obviously putting CVs in for jobs. They're keen after they graduate to move into a professional job as quickly as possible, but they haven't really got an understanding yet of what it is that an accountancy role or accountancy business does, and also what financial planning is. So I've got a little bit of information about them. And from our point of view, accountancy comes down to 2 things really, or what we do for our clients comes down to 2 things in this side of the business. So it's the accountancy essentials, which is the traditional accountancy services and compliance services that people received, and then business advisory is really around supporting businesses from pre-startup to selling their business, cash flow forecasting, growth for a business, succession planning and selling of the business. So it's trying to understand for graduates what their role would be in all of this, obviously starting probably in the accountancy essentials and accounts preparation and things like that, and then supporting monthly management accounts for businesses that we work for. So most of our accountancy clients would be small to medium-sized businesses that don't have a financial director in their business, and we become that for them. So we provide them with a lot of the ongoing financial planning in their business. So the next slide, yeah. If I can move that on. And this is just some things we were involved in the last couple of years, or certainly this last year. There's 2 events that the Belfast City Council, we partnered with Belfast City Council and Danske Bank for startup businesses. So the Business Ideas Award was really, there's about 100 businesses applied, and it was held in Danske Bank's offices in town, and everybody got to present their business idea, and there was obviously a prize, but we provided free accountancy services for the top 5 candidates that came out of it. So it's really important to us to try and help the local startup business community, and we see ourselves at that side of the market where we can help local businesses grow and local businesses develop. And then the Story Strategy Traction Labs with Danske Bank as well, where we're getting 15 small businesses, entrepreneurs into a room and helping them develop their vision and the roadmap for their business, really. So it's just a bit of an idea of how we're trying to develop our business through working with local small businesses. I think this is the side then that a lot of graduates don't understand, is what personal financial planning for the owners of the businesses that we advise on the accountancy side, what we do for them in terms of their own personal financial planning, and how we feel it's the world's best kept secret. Because often a client will come to us with a problem, so they'll feel their problem is a pension issue, for instance, but in reality they have all this other financial uncertainty and emotional uncertainty about where they're going to go. So there's all these pieces of the puzzle that we need to bring together, a planning process, and sort of bring it to a coherent plan for them. And when we do that, we find that it brings a lot of peace of mind about their future. And then we review that on an ongoing year. So we go back and forth between the plan and reviewing that and making sure that that's fit for them over the long term. So if we go on to the next slide, there's a wee bit of information about what that plan might look like. So it basically comes down to 4 components. The financial plan is looking at the clients, their lifetime cash flow plan, their assets, their income. Often, obviously, they're mostly going to have business assets, they could have property assets, and they may have plans around what they want to do with them or how they want to live their life. And they'll have to make some decisions and choices around how they're going to become financially independent, really. And that's the kind of the sat nav that helps the car know where it's going to go, and the investment plan is the engine then that gets it there. So we would put together and structure an investment portfolio for clients that is a suitable level of risk and is going to help them reach their goals. I suppose it has to be understandable, and the risk of the portfolio has to be understood by the client. So and then the next part would be the contingency plan. And really what this is about is things that can go wrong. What's for older clients, that could be long-term care. For younger clients, younger business owners, what if something happens to them and nobody's able to run the business, and what's going to happen to the asset of the business? Is that going to be able to be passed on to their family, or what's going to happen, or what if they become ill? So we're thinking about the things that they may not expect to happen. And then the tax plan is obviously around managing the client's tax affairs, using tax reliefs and building their whole financial plan with that in mind. I suppose we'll have to say there that everything is only, that we would only really work within what is common and wholly acceptable planning opportunities from the HMRC. So, this is the process we go through with clients, and it's interesting because the graduates generally take a part in all of it. The perspective is where we get the understanding of the client situation, and graduates would generally come into the meeting with us and help take notes and listen to the clients, and we'll go away together then and build an analysis of the situation. We'll put together some planning recommendations, and the repositioning and induction is really refining it and implementing it. And one of the big parts is really taking the pressure off the clients around the administration of their assets and their finances, and us supporting them with it. So that's a bit of an idea of what the 2 different sides of the businesses are. And I suppose there's a lot of information in here. I think, as I said, Brian, you can pass this on afterwards. I'm going to highlight a couple of things that I find personally very useful when we're talking to graduates. I suppose the reason why I wanted to give you quite a bit of detail about accountancy and financial advisory or financial planning is because quite a lot of graduates come in and they haven't really done their research when they interview with us. We did 12 interviews last week, and I would say 8 of them had just read the website and regurgitated that back to us. And I know what it says, because I had a hand in writing it. So I'm not, it really doesn't stand out for us. And I suppose there was a couple of people last week that were really impressive. There was one guy had gone away and contacted, local accounting and financial advice businesses and he'd gone and had lunch with somebody, really understood what it is that we do, looked into industry qualifications, thought about the career path and the value that he can add in the business. And that, that really, really stood out. So those types of things are really important. The other thing I'll mention here, this thing about getting on the rocket ship, which is something I really like. This came out of Sheryl Sandberg's book. Sheryl Sandberg was a CEO of Facebook, but when she had just come out of a graduate job and she spoke to Eric Schmidt, the CEO of Google, he said to her, get on a rocket ship. I'm reading this out now, but get on a rocket ship. When companies grow quickly and they're having a lot of impact, careers take care of themselves. And this is completely true in our business, in that as the business grows and we're always a little bit behind with our staff, as we're growing and we're trying to hire people, there's always more work, and we're challenged with problems that the business has never faced before, and they are responsible for solving it. And these are stretch tasks, really. So what's happening is every individual is being stretched to develop their skills and grow constantly. So your career path really does take care of itself at that point. And as the business is growing, there's always areas opening up higher up in the organization to move to, as opposed to going into a very well sort of developed business. So I think that's for the right type of people who like to be challenged. That's something that they should be looking for. The other thing I want to point out at the bottom here is just some numbers that we came across about the financial planning industry. And in the 1980s there was 250,000 or 230,000 advisors. That's down to 20,000 now, and it's looking like going down to 5,000 by 2027. And the average age of people in the industry is over 55. So there's a huge, the market for advice isn't getting any smaller though. So there's really a big opportunity here for people to get in to a smaller business, and hopefully become more senior and develop a career in that. So yeah, I mean that's mostly for us. I've really just put the core values in here to fill the slides, but I suppose I want to put our contact details in here. We have two roles, one on either side of the business at the moment, with sort of a training accountant role and also on the financial planning side of the business. So if anybody is interested in those, feel free to give me an email about more information, and our HR person can follow up with them as well about the process for that. Is that all right?
Fantastic. Thanks, Daniel and Laura and Lauren. I found all that really interesting. I mean, I really hope and would expect that our students listening, I can't say how they were feeling before listening over the past 40 minutes or so, but there's opportunity there. I mean, there's a variety of opportunities, different types of business, well established, still relatively young and growing quickly, and then your business, Daniel, that is really young, but you outlined